Thank you. So none of that went out. Okay, well. All right, I'll get used to it. All right, so welcome everybody then to the special regional council meeting. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Dene and Cree people of the Fort Nelson First Nation and the Denizah of the Prophet River Nation. The Northern Rockies Administration Center is located at the heart of these traditional territories. We also acknowledge the enduring presence of the Métis community. Please be advised that today's meeting is available for the public to attend virtually and is being streamed and recorded. We have an agenda here. Can I have an adoption of the agenda, please? Moved by Councillor Grewing, second by Councillor Roper. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Today's item of business is a delegation from the Poplar Hills Golf and Country Club. We have Mr. Tyler Andrews and Mr. Wes Heal here to speak to us. Thank you, gentlemen, for the work that you do at the golf course. It's a service that's used by the community. It is. It probably wouldn't be there without volunteers like yourself doing the work that needs to be done. I know there are a lot of people who use it. I certainly use it, and again, I thank you for the work that you guys are doing there. So the floor is yours.
Okay, we find ourselves here today like we were in a situation, I don't know, a number of years ago. Unfortunately, our budget fell short as to what we were expecting. And as you'll see in that document in front of you, you can really, it comes down to those 5 or 6 different, I guess, categories that we really didn't budget this drastic of an increase for. So we find ourselves asking for an additional $25,000 to cover off the current outstanding payables that you can see on the right side of it to finish off the year for us. If there's any questions, I can speak to most of those expenses that are shown there. And there is some positives listed on this document as well, including that the revenue is up or what the golf simulator has done so far this year. I really don't have anything else to present other than answer some questions.
Okay, Wes, did you have anything to add?
Nope. I think Ty pretty much said it all. We're here to answer questions if you guys have any.
Okay, question. I think it's understand.
Yeah, just so it's, you say here that the golf course is roughly $8,000, but not including the simulator. Does that reflect in the budget numbers, the simulator amount, or no? Like in the graph above where it shows you have an amount short, does that reflect with the revenue from the simulator?
It does not know. The simulator is kind of kept separate for the time being as 2 separate entities that they show on the same balance sheet, but the cost and purchases or revenue are 2 separate.
Done as 2 separate businesses?
Yeah, the numbers here are completely golf course related.
Okay.
Yeah, not a question, but just some thoughts. We're still a far away from normal pre-COVID wise, and I know that the nonprofits in the community are struggling to get back to where they were. And I see you guys working and diversifying the operation with the golf simulator. And I just want to say I'm so impressed and happy that you guys are continuing on. And I have full faith that within a reasonable amount of time, we'll get back to that pre-COVID number. But right now, I find it understandable that there's a shortfall, and I would have no problem funding that shortfall.
Question?
Thanks. I've got a few. So equipment R&M, the 2022 budget was 6,250 and the actual was 16,369. Can you give me some information on that difference?
Most of that would be for the greenskeeping equipment. Again, you can't foresee. I don't know what more it was. I don't know if Josh can speak to that sitting in the background there, but he has a closer tab on Brian than what I do. But a lot of it is greenskeeping or maintenance equipment that when it breaks, there's not much we can do about it.
We just had to outsource some repairs this year to Brian's on mechanics, so we had to send a few pieces of equipment to Brad Tractor this year. And one was a green mower, one was a rough mower. I believe it's just the cost of repairs. We have an aging fleet. We didn't get a new mower this year, but our fleet is at 2,000, so we are just trying to keep it together so we can maintain the golf course.
Yeah, you want me to keep going? Okay, so the irrigation repair the budget was for $1,200 and it came in at almost $8,000. Can you give me some information on why that is such a big difference?
Again, same thing. That would actually be something Wes can speak to after because he did most of the work. We found a problem and we just kept digging and digging and digging. And we just kept coming up with more and more problems. At somewhere between the start point and where the irrigation system goes, there's a broken wire. And we still can't find it unless, again, all that West.
Working at Gasfield there, I worked with Jason there quite a bit, and we're trying to find a line break, a wire break. And it's very hard when everything is under the ground and you have to try to locate this wire because it is a big area. I know Gasfield has donated a lot of time as well, so it is a big number, but it could have been bigger without donations there too. So,
But it's not repaired yet.
it is not repaired yet.
Okay. Can I continue? And then the insurance, the difference of $6,500, was that just is something different or was that just budgeted the wrong amount?
That one, I guess I misspoke when I answered Kyle's question there. That would be because of the two location. No.
I'm sorry?
We have to insure the building in town. as
So
well.
that's got to,
Yeah. that would
so
be-
then why is that not reflected in the separate account?
It should be. You're correct. Yes.
Okay, so we can, okay. So then I guess I just want to understand that without this additional money that you're asking for, the payables cannot be paid?
Well, we don't know how good the simulator is going to do. We have, like I said, it says there, we have 6 Christmas parties. We have a liquor license this year. We expect revenue to be quite a bit better, but and in case it is, that might reflect in the ask of next season instead of 110,000. But again, I don't know what. Right. It could be a really good winter. We might not need this money. Correct. But, and then if that's the case, then we'll just ask for less next year. But in the meantime, these are payables, mostly local companies. They need to get paid.
Is this all the outstanding payables is there anything else out there that?
This is everything.
This is everything. So it's been long enough since the season that you've been able to accumulate all the expected payables.
Or yeah, for them, yeah.
Okay, and so the difference is, the amount that you're short is $12,561.
Correct.
And you're asking for 25,000?
Just, yeah, we just kind of put a buffer in there just to cover, cover the simulator. We would be happy to take the 12.5. It would be a good starting point.
Yeah.
At least to get this covered off and we can reconvene again in a couple months and keep everybody updated and see where we go from there for sure.
Thank you. Councilor Andrews, I saw you first and then Councilor.
Just a quick history question on the simulator. I thought that was brought in to bring extra revenues for the Poplar Hills Golf Course. Or was it going to be a separate business?
No, it's the Poplar Golf Course. It's just, we just have 2 separate accounts on the books and like everything.
Okay, so are they ever going to be together? Where my question's coming from is that 40K shown in additional sales, any revenue from that being able to use at Poplar Hills Golf Course, or just not at this time?
That's still paying off.
Oh, there's still money owing there, so there's nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The simulator cost us. It's essentially all close to breaking even.
Okay. Nope. I just making sure where we're sitting. Thank you.
Yeah, that was my question too, is if, so there was $40,000 brought in by the simulator, but how much did it cost? Like the revenue is $40,000, but how much cost? But then you just answered that. So it's at a break even point right now. So then I guess I just wanted to go back. So without now the $12,561, the amount that you're short, there isn't any money anywhere else to pay off these payables.
Correct. We have drained our reserves a few years ago. And we've just been breaking even with the capital grant we get from the town every year.
So I guess, just wondering. So I guess I'm just wondering as to why we're hearing about it now and not earlier on in the season when some of these unexpected expenses were coming in. Just.
Because I think most of them were actual, exactly that, unexpected expenses. The fuel, both our tanks are full, our propane and our gas are full going into next year, which I think is why that is so much higher. So all these expenses are from September. The irrigation repairs was gas field digging up lines in September.
So the receiver general GST, $6,500, that's just payable.
That'd be payables from September's payroll, I would say.
Thanks.
Do we have a spot where this 25,000 could come from?
The area that we would look at taking it from the funds wise would just be the general surplus reserve fund if council wished to do that.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, gentlemen. You've answered all the questions. I think. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to tie my finger right to this. Thank you, gentlemen. It looks like council has heard your request, have asked the questions that they're interested in. So they probably have enough information to decide what it is that they would like to do. So thank you very much for your time today. What are it's up to you. What we're in a regular meeting, special meeting, but we're in a decision-making meeting. If you've got a resolution, something you'd like to put on.
Great. I have all the information I need. You said that you could squeak by with 12.5, but you're asking for 25. The spirit of this is you're supposed to ask for what you need, and I trust that 25 will be put to good use. So I would make the motion that we fund the shortage of $25,000 out of our general surplus. Yeah.
Thank you, Councilor. Moved by Councillor Roper, second by Councillor Andrews. The municipality fund the golf course $25,000, and that will come from surplus. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, go ahead.
I was just going to make the suggestion that that we would alter see this 25,000. I'm fine with the $25,000 going out of there, but tie it to next year's. So this is like an advance on next year's, because there's some things that it's taking care of that are actually advanced already. Like you say, you've got fuel tanks full of fuel and your propane is full, so you're ready for next year. So tie it so that we can have a more clear discussion about it when we come to budget time. And so if in that motion we could just call this kind of an advance on funding, then we can do the adjusting when the time comes to discuss budgets overall. Anyway, that's just a suggestion.
Go ahead.
I would be fine with that. Like I said, we can see how the simulator, how our winter business does, because this is a first for us. With the liquor license and Christmas parties, we've explored some catering options. We're going all out here. We got a league starting in January. We've got 4 or 5 full-time, like year-round employees now instead of just 4 months a year. I think we've put a lot into this, so I'm hoping for some good things here.
I'm pretty comfortable with it the way it is, and budget time is right around the corner. We're going to know from them when they make their budget request what they're asking for and what they're using. We know that their tanks are full. We know that there's some prepaid expenses already. So I think we'll remember come budget time. So you've got notes. Yeah. So I'm pretty comfortable with the way it is, but I'm certainly open to anybody else if somebody would like to make an amendment.
I would like to make that amendment.
Your amendment, your specific amendment is?
What'd you say, Councillor Souls? That it's an advance on next year's budget allotment. Would those be the proper words? I don't want to
Yes.
put words anymore.
Yes, that is exactly it. The reason I just say that this is partly the process, what you mentioned, I think I'll remember it. I'm not sure that I'll remember it, but if it has a note that attaches it to this for next budget, then for sure we'll remember it. I think that it's safe to use.
Okay, so I'll accept that. I'll accept that amendment. So that's moved by Councillor Going, second by Councillor Souls. Staff, is there any issue with respect to calling this an advance with respect to the way we keep the book?
No, I don't think so, Trevor. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basically how it's going to be communicated going into budget season, essentially. So I think it'll just be recognized that the $25,000 that will be taken out of the funds will be taken from the surplus reserves will be acknowledged in the new year. And then as part of that discussion with council during budget time, the golf course executive, of course, will, as Tyler said, will recognize that amount. We'll just ensure that that discussion ensues at council so that it is remembered, I guess.
Right. So then that's exactly what we're doing. We're just essentially logging it so that it'll come forward in the budget discussion. All right. Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment? Opposed? The amendment passes. We'll call a motion on the main motion as amended. All in favor of that? Opposed? That's carried. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thanks for all your hard work, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's looking great. Hear good things.